Hello friends and welcome back to this last video of Laravel CRUD application. We have seen last time that we can insert the data into the database, fetch the data and update without page load. And this is now the last operation that you need to do to complete the CRUD acronym so as to be able to perform all those operations without any page load. And back in days when we were implementing this one, we have seen that in order to get the perfect ID for the value, we were trying to use this value here that will be set on this button in combination with the class. And for the edit, to use the delete, the edit employee class, and on the delete, I'm going to use this delete employee class. So in order to perform the deletion, I'm going to catch the ID as I will be clicking the button. So I'm going to add the click event on this delete button. So I'm going to say jig on click, and I'm going to say that document, and I'm going to say that the event that I'm going to target is now the click event. Okay, and I'm going to apply this click event to the specific class that I'm going to pick, and this is now the delete employee. I'm going to copy this down so as to never make any typo, and remember to put the dot that will indicate that this is now a class. And after we are done with this, I'm going to say var emp id. I'm going to say that this is going to be employee id, and I'm going to catch the id that will be specific on this button. So I'm going to say that this dot var. And after we get this ID, we can't be specific that we are getting the ID, so we need to use any kind of verification. So I'm going to arrat, and in the arrat I'm going to put this emp ID to make sure that I'm getting this ID as expected. So I'm going to go back and give this page a refresh, and whenever I click on delete, you can see that I'm getting the perfect ID as expected. Cool, this is wonderful. So I'm going to minimize this and go back here. And last time we were using these kind of models to add and edit some kind of employee, and you're going to use the same. So I'm going to copy this down, and you're going to remove the unwanted data, and you'll be remained with the data that we're going to make the use of. So in here, instead of calling this as edit employee, I'm going to call this as delete employee, and here I'm going to say delete confirmation. Okay, and as we'll be deleting this data, we need to have a certain kind of confirmation. And in here there are some fields that I'm going to delete. I'm going to delete all of this one because we don't need them, and we will remain with this one, and I'm going to call this as employee ID, and we don't need this error list. I'm going to remove this one, and in here I'm going to add some, let me put in some paragraph and say, are you sure you want to delete this data, like this one? And as a confirmation, there will be this now for cancel, cancel like this one, and this one it will be yes, like this one we've capitalized, delete. And here I'm going to call this as delete employee. And to avoid any kind of here I'm going to say delete employee ID, because I think we're having the exact value, the exact ID on the top, and I'm going to get this as a text so as to be able to see if you're getting the perfect ID. And to make this as a delete one, I'm going to give another class of danger, and we are ready to go. So I'm going to go back here inside here, and after now we click on the delete employee. We are going to set now this, I'm going to target the ID as delete employee ID, and I'm going to give it the value of this emp ID. And in this case, we have the exact value that we'll be getting upon click here. And I'm going to also show the model. I'm going to show the model that is called the delete employee, and I'm going to say that model, and I'm going to pass in show here. All right, so let's go ahead and test if this is working. So I'm going to go back and give you this page a refresh. After refresh, whenever I click on delete, consider it was able to bring this delete confirmation and the certain ID that we wanted, and this is working as expected. And we can also test for this, and this is nice. And as we are sure that we are getting the perfect ID, there is no need to keep having this field as now the text. I'm going to leave this as hidden so as to have a clean workspace. So whenever I came back and click on delete, you can see that it will bring this delete like this one. Cool, wonderful. And after we do that, we have seen that we given this button, this one on the delete, we given this as delete employee, and I'm going to take this class, and I'm going to also add a quick event. So the quick event that I'm going to add here will be the one that will help us to catch the ID to be deleted. So I'm going to call also the jig on quick on event. So I'm going to say document, and also the event will be a quick event like this one, and I'm going to specify the class. And here we're having the delete employee, and on here I'm having also the delete employee. It can cause some kind of ambiguity, so I'm going to add the btn to specify that this is a button. So I'm going to come back here after removing that kind of ambiguity. I'm going to say that delete employee btn. After we do this, first thing I'm going to do is now to catch the ID that would be there. So I'm going to say var ID or imp, let me call this as ID. It will be equal to, I'm going to get the ID, delete employee ID. Okay, I think that's how I called it back here. I need this kind of value here. So after getting this value, I can go ahead and make the Ajax request. So to do that, I'm going to call the Ajax like this one, and the method that we will use is called, it is delete, of course, and the URL, I'm going to say that I'm going to say delete employee, and I'm going to concatenate with the ID so as to be able to complete this. And as we are going to be deleting we don't need this kind of information in here, and we are good. And as we are going to make the change or to send the request to the server, I'm going to pass this CRF token so as to be able to pass in the data. Don't forget this one because it can cause you some trouble. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here before making the Ajax request. Cool. No, it's not here. It's not here, but it is in here. Good. And after we do that, we can go ahead and console.log the response to see what is coming from the response. But the thing that we need to do is to copy this kind of log and go into web, and I'm going to copy one of that and make sure we change the required fields. So I'm going to copy it, to cut this and press it here. We need to remain with the ID, of course, because it will be now concatenated. And in here, I'm going to call this as destroy. And also the employee controller will be the controller that will help us to delete this one. So I'm going to go inside the employee controller and try to add the destroy method. And in here, I'm going to, let me see where this method ends so as to be able to see it will be here. So I'm going to add a public method, public function destroy. Okay, and we'll have the parameter of ID. Okay, because we're going to delete by using the ID, and I'm going to fetch the employee by using that certain ID, and I'm going to say employee and I'm going to find now the ID that will be from the parameter. All right, after we are done with this, I'm going to go ahead and call this, and I'm going to call the delete method on here, delete, like this one. And after that, you can go ahead and give the response. I'm going to copy one of this one, okay, and I can paste it here, and this will be 200, and the message will be employee deleted successfully. Cool. All right, after we are done with this, we can go back and test and see if we can get now the exact functionality we expected. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to open the terminal or the console, and I'm going to go to the console. I'm going to give this a refresh so as to be able to do this. I'm going to click on delete, and once I click on delete, you can see that it is telling me that the method not allowed, and the problem is that we forgot to change here and put in destroy. Okay, so I'm going to go back and give this a refresh. The problem of copy paste, it's not destroy, it is delete. Sorry for that. And I'm going to give this a refresh and go back here and go to the console, and whenever I click on delete, it will bring this same behavior like it was before. And once I click on delete, and we are getting this internal server error, and once we get this kind of error, you can go ahead and click on here, and it will give you more about this one. You can see that it is now telling us that the delete was now on this node. So I'm going to go here and let's see, we have to check this where this method is where, and the problem may be we are not getting the ID or the certain value. And here when we were trying to get this ID, we forgot to put the var so as to be able to get the value. So I'm going to go back and give this a refresh, and you can go back and click on delete. And once you click, I'm going to go to the console, and when you click on delete, you can see that it was able to delete, but the possible reason for this was now here. So whenever you refresh the page, you see that the record has been gone, and whenever you click delete again and delete, you can see that it was able to bring this status as employee deleted successfully. And at this point, we are going to perform what will happen once the delete is successful. So I'm going to go back here on the response, and I'm going to set some of the parameters. So for example, I'm going to copy this, like the success message from here. So let me go here and do like this one. I'm going to copy all of this, and we make sure that we edit according to our need. And I'm going to say like this one, and delete employee will be hidden, and this will be it. So I'm going to go back and give this a refresh and try to delete this data and delete, and you can see that it was able to delete this successfully. And you can go ahead and delete more and more, and this is now how you can do it. I hope you find these videos very interesting and helpful. Let me know in the comment if you met with any problem. I'm always right here to help you, and make sure that you check the description for the source code of all of this project. I will input there on my GitHub page. Make sure you go and leave a start to this repository. So until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to press the like and subscribe. Ciao.